In the United States, we're proud of the deep connection between our nations, between India and the United States. Prime Minister Modi, as most of you probably know, was one of the first visitors welcomed into the Oval Office during President Trump's second term.
Very interesting period indeed. I got to see how not to do things.
And like President Trump, the Prime Minister inspires remarkable loyalty because of the strength of his belief in his people and in his country.
What do you like about Donald Trump as a friend, as a leader?
Both of us delivered speeches, and he sat down below listening to me speak. Now that's his humility. The President of the United States sitting in the audience while I spoke from the stage, that was a remarkable gesture on his part.
JD Vance and his family were warmly welcomed to India by Prime Minister Modi for...
This is my first time visiting the birthplace of my wife's parents, and she's, of course, in the front row there. There you are, Usha. She's a bit of a celebrity, it turns out, in India, I think more so than her husband. But I haven't been here long, but already I've been fortunate enough to visit the Akshardham Temple. Did I pronounce that right, honey? I did okay? All right. With my family this morning, as a matter of fact.
No, I can't even open my eyes.
You can. You just, I know, buddy, it's hard. Just do it for 3 seconds. America does more military exercises with India than we do with any other nation on earth. The U.S.-India Compact that President Trump and Prime Minister Modi announced in February will lay the foundation for even closer collaboration between our countries.
The strong relationship between India and the U.S. heralds a new era in global superpowers, particularly as tensions with China reach an all-time high.
From javelins to Stryker combat vehicles, our nations will co-produce many of the munitions and equipment that we'll need to deter foreign aggressors. Not because we seek war, but because we seek peace, and we believe the best path to peace is through mutual strength. Our interests in a free, open, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific are in full alignment. Both of us know that the region must remain safe from any hostile powers that seek to dominate it.
India has declared they are siding with the US in the trade war by imposing 12% tariffs on steel to limit cheap imports from China. India also declared they will be increasing imports from the US instead of China, further distancing themselves from the superpower. But it seems the friendship between India and the US is making China very nervous. Chinese officials have extended an invitation to Modi to visit Beijing.
The mainstream media and Democrat critics continue to claim Donald Trump is isolating America and damaging our international reputation. Yet behind the noise, Trump and allies like JD Vance are securing real victories, like a major reciprocal trade deal with India.
The relationship between the US and India has gone from strength to strength since Donald Trump's election as president.
This agreement counters Chinese influence, strengthens American alliances, and proves that the America First agenda is more than rhetoric. It delivers.
When the world was in meltdown over tariffs, Modi was one of the first leaders to get in contact with Trump to negotiate a deal, despite being hit with 26% reciprocal tariffs.
Growing relations between our countries over the last decade are part of what led America to designate India a major defense partner, the first of that class. This designation means that India now shares with the UAE a defense and technology infrastructure and partnership with the United States on par with America's closest allies and friends.
After finishing my speech, I stepped down. And as we all know, security in the US is extremely strict. I went over to thank him and casually said, "If you don't mind, why don't we take a lap around the stadium? There are so many people here. Let's walk, wave, and greet them." In American life, it's almost impossible for the president to walk into a crowd of thousands. But without even a moment's hesitation, he agreed and started walking with me. His entire security detail was thrown off guard. But for me, that moment was truly touching. It showed me that this man had courage.
As many of you are aware, both of our governments are hard at work on a trade agreement built on shared priorities, like creating new jobs, building durable supply chains, and achieving prosperity for our workers. In our meeting yesterday, Prime Minister Modi and I made very good progress on all of those points. And we are especially excited to formally announce that America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiation. I think this is a vital step. Thank you.
It was that sense of mutual trust, a strong bond between us, that I truly witnessed on that day. When he was shot during the recent campaign, I saw the same resilient and determined President Trump, the one who walked hand in hand with me in that stadium. Even after being shot, he remained unwaveringly dedicated to America. His life was for his nation. His reflection showed his America First spirit, just as I believe in nation first. I stand for India first. And that's why we connect so well.
Modi has not yet responded, presumably as to not rock the boat with America after Trump went to war with China on tariffs.
And what you're also seeing is this president in action. He's managed to, in a couple of days' time, isolate China from the rest of the world, put them in their place. He's got that 90-day pause. Other countries coming to the table, 70 plus, lining up to make deals with this president. So I'm
J.D. Vance didn't return empty-handed from India. He came back with a major development, a trade agreement focused on job creation, reliable supply chains, and long-term economic cooperation.
When President Trump and Prime Minister Modi announced in February that our countries aim to more than double our bilateral trade to $500 billion by the end of the decade, I know that both of them meant it.
This isn't a symbolic gesture, it's a strategic checkmate. Trump is building economic alliances with nations that are eager to cooperate, not deceive. India, a rising tech and industrial power, isn't interested in playing China's shadow game. They want genuine partnerships, and under Trump's leadership, they're getting them.
Across the world, politicians are covered so much by the media that people mostly perceive each other through its lens. People rarely get the chance to truly meet or personally know one another. And perhaps third-party intervention is the real cause of tensions.
Let's be real. China doesn't trade. China manipulates. They don't partner, they dominate. And for too long, the global elite were willing to look the other way. But Trump, he isn't. He's drawing a line in the sand and building bridges with the right nations on the other side of it.
Would you be worried that they're going closer?
No.
Will you pick up the phone?
Nobody can compete with us. Nobody.
You said they have a good relationship with President Xi. Why not pick up the phone and call him and make a deal?
Oh, we're going to make a deal. We'll have a deal. I think we're going to make a very good deal with China.
Now, Middletown's story is my story, but it's hardly unusual in the United States of America. There are tens of millions of Americans who, over the last 20 or so years, have woken up to what's happening in our nation. But I believe they woke up well before it's too late. Now, like you, we want to appreciate our history, our culture, our religion. We want to do commerce and strike good deals with our friends. We want to found our vision of the future upon the proud recognition of our heritage rather than self-loathing and fear. I work for a president who has long understood all of this, whether through fighting those who seek to erase American history or in support of fair trade deals abroad. He has been consistent on these issues for decades. And as a result, under the Trump administration, America now has a government that has learned from the mistakes of the past. It's why President Trump cares so deeply about protecting the manufacturing economy that is the lifeblood of American prosperity and making sure America's workers have opportunities for good jobs.
When his first term ended and President Biden won, 4 years passed, but during that time, whenever someone we both knew met him, he would say, "Modi is my friend, convey my regards." That kind of gesture is rare. Even though we didn't meet physically for years, our direct and indirect communication, our closeness and the trust between us remained unshaken.
The great things about kids is they are brutally honest. They're brutally honest with everybody, whether you want them to be or not. And our 7-year-old, our 5-year-old, and then our 3-year-old baby girl, Mirabelle, it's interesting. They've only really attached themselves to, they've only really liked, I should say, they've only really built a rapport with two world leaders. The first, of course, is President Trump. He just has a certain energy about him. But Prime Minister Modi, it's the exact same thing. Our kids just like him. And I think that because kids are such good, strong of characters, I just like Prime Minister Modi too. And I think it's a great foundation for the future of our relationship. As we saw earlier this month, he will go to extraordinary lengths to protect and expand those opportunities for all Americans. And so today I come here with a simple message. Our administration seeks trade partners on the basis of fairness and of shared national interests. We want to build relationships with our foreign partners who respect their workers, who don't suppress their wages to boost exports, but respect the value of their labor. We want partners that are committed to working with America to build things, not just allowing themselves to become a conduit for transshipping others' goods. Now, I want to be clear, America's partners need not look exactly like America, nor must our governments do everything exactly the same way. But we should have some common goals, and I believe here in India we do, in both economics and in national security. And that's why we're so excited. That's why I'm so excited to be here today. In India, America has a friend, and we seek to strengthen the warm bonds our great nations already share.
So when the media shrieks that Trump is burning bridges, remember this: America isn't backing down. It's leading. The dollar is strong. The economy is thriving. And if Democrats are rooting against that just to hurt Trump, they're not against him. They're against America winning. In the end, the scoreboard doesn't lie. And Trump, he's still racking up the wins.
I believe that if India and the United States work together successfully, we are going to see a 21st century that is prosperous and peaceful. President Trump, of course, intends to rebalance America's economic relationship with the rest of the world. That's going to fundamentally will cause profound changes within our borders in the United States, but of course with other countries as well. But I believe that this rebalancing is going to produce great benefits for American workers. It's going to produce great benefits for the people of India. And because our partnership is so important to the future of the world, I believe President Trump's efforts, joined of course by the whole country of India and Prime Minister Modi, will make the 21st century the best century in human history. Let's do it together. God bless you, and thank you for having me.